Hey guys, so it's crazy that so many people just want to deny One Piece statements and databook entries, but let me show you why casuals are trying to lowball Whitebeard, our first planetary character in One Piece. Is he the only? Not if you use proper scaling and common sense. Warning, spoilers up to chapter 966 as well as episode 966. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more One Piece content. I also want to note that I'll be making some references to the extremely popular manga series Dragon Ball, due to the fact that a lot of the scaling I'm using is similar to what's done in Dragon Ball. And while I'm saying that, if you don't believe in Dragon Ball scaling, like if you're going to say stuff like, well, Goku didn't destroy a universe so it wasn't universal, then you aren't going to agree with the One Piece scaling I have here. We're going to start with statements. Now, usually in lore, when a high to top tier in the verse makes a statement, or the author, that statement holds legitimacy. The top tier doesn't even need strength comparable to the character they are speaking on, like Master Roshi claiming that Vegeta rage boosted himself to being stronger than Goku, or when Okai stated that Goku and Beerus were threatening to destroy the universe. A high tier character in the verse, Sengoku, the fleet admiral at the time, states that Whitebeard has the power to destroy the world. Let's look at this databook entry on Whitebeard. This line says, Whitebeard attained the title of the strongest in the world well before the great age of pirates, as he had immense power and ability that could destroy the world. Keep in mind it only refers to his title, doesn't necessarily mean in terms of power level, take it as you will. Now some try to use the take it as you will to say it's hyperbole, but this is nothing more than a last ditch denial tactic used by One Piece haters. They will try to take this statement as they will to use doesn't necessarily mean in terms of power level to say he isn't planetary. However, they are in a minority uphill battle when Sengoku said what he said about Whitebeard. This more than likely means that this should be taken as Whitebeard shouldn't be highballed to be able to destroy any world.
Spoilers!
There are places like worlds in JoJo that represent whole dimensions or other universes separated by space, while their universes are timelines separated by, you guessed it, time. Definitely subscribe and check out my JoJo videos. Speaking of JoJo, there's a mirror world Whitebeard can't destroy. In Black Clover, there's a glamour or dream world he can't destroy. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a toon world he can't destroy. Luffy probably can with his own toon force, but that's another theory for another video. The point being, Whitebeard is the strongest in the world who could destroy the world. Which world? The world of One Piece. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all the pixel scaling and educated guesses on how big the One Piece world is, but all I'm going to say is there are between 10 and 20 million islands in the One Piece world, and there are under 1 million islands on our Earth. The One Piece world is bigger. The country of Alabasta has a lake going through it that has a width of about 50 kilometers or 30 miles, and through some pretty reliable pixel scaling, we can determine how big Alabasta is. It's about 4,840 kilometers long, bigger than the country of Mexico. Shout out to Inaki Godoy, our real-life Luffy as claimed by Oda. And that's one island. There are at least 10 million. Imagine if our Earth had even 1 million Mexicos when there are only 900,000 islands or so in the world, and 195 recognized countries. Even not assuming that some of those islands and countries are the same and adding the numbers, we would still be at 9,099,800 land masses away from how many land masses the One Piece world has at least. All that to say, Whitebeard is able to destroy not any world, but the One Piece world, which is bigger than our world. When Majin Buu destroyed the Dragon Ball Earth that has multiple real Earth references, he was considered planetary. Whitebeard can destroy the One Piece world. He shouldn't be highballed to be able to destroy any world, but based off this, I believe he is more than capable of destroying the One Piece planet. Let's look at some scaling. Since that's another horrible argument that casual doubters try to use, they will say there's no one in the verse even near that level, so that's why it doesn't make sense. These casuals clearly missed my last video where I proved Don Jinjiao was continental. They missed the accurate translations where Don and Sai, his grandson, would be able to crush a continent, and they also missed the fact that Oars, the giant zombie that Nightmare Luffy was fighting, was continental when he was alive. Oars, the continent puller, would drag countries together to make continents. It's hinted that he created Wano, and when you consider something as small as the continental ice sheet that Don Chinjao split was indeed continental, it at least says to me that Oars was pulling continents, in reference to our size continent, to make a bigger continent possibly the size of Pangea. That last part was the only bit of unbacked theory I'm going to throw at you. It makes a lot of sense, but we will find out more if Oda decides to expound upon Oar's alive days in the future. Roger and Garp both were above Chinjiao, more than likely in multi-continental at least. So for Whitebeard, the so-called strongest man in the world, to be the next tier up, which would be planetary, and when we consider the fact that Australia is bigger than the moon, it makes more than enough sense that Whitebeard will be able to destroy the Earth. So if there are continental characters, and if the One Piece world is bigger than our Earth, Earth's moon might very well be dwarfed by these land masses that we know as islands in the One Piece world. All that to say, characters in the One Piece world that are able to destroy islands are more than likely to be able to destroy real-life continents, and even higher for the characters that can destroy One Piece countries and continents. Now, I want to draw attention to Dragon Ball for a comparison. Remember when Cell claimed he was going to blow away the solar system? Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z had showcased a few moon-busting and planetary feats, but they arguably didn't show any large planetary feats, and they definitely didn't show any multi-planetary or star-level feats. Regardless of this fact, this solar system statement from Cell was accepted by the majority of fans even before writer statements and data books came to back Cell up. Now, I'm not bringing this up to downplay Cell. I was a part of the majority that believed Cell was solar system. It's just crazy that Whitebeard doesn't get the same respect that Cell got. One Piece doubters will try to call it hyperbole, but because Cell was making these claims about himself, it is much more likely his statement was hyperbole via boasting. The fact that Sengoku, an enemy of Whitebeard and the high to top tier in the verse said it, it doesn't seem like a brag or overestimation. The reason Whitebeard's status as planetary is questioned is because of One Piece hate. A lot of lowballers will try to say Whitebeard is only planetary via chain reaction or catalyst. Whenever you hear that, simply ask them where that is written. It isn't at all, it's a part of their headcanon. Now let me tell you, I'm so glad I procrastinated on making this video because my rivals over at Versus Battle Wiki fandom put out some interesting updates to their database. And again, this is a wiki made and monitored by what I do believe to be more or less unbiased fans of fiction, but I believe overall stigma and misinformation make them make some misguided opinions in the midst of ignorance. Now it seems they're really reading the material that they're talking about. What am I talking about? They gave a bunch of One Piece characters a boost in stats. Most of the top tiers have been bumped up to moon level, and one a little higher. I'm too hyped. And this is an attack potency. First up, Akainu. Akainu is now moon level according to Versus Battle Wiki's opinion. He has the strongest attack or offensive power of any devil fruit according to data books. This means that he has a higher attack power than Whitebeard. Now, I'm gonna save Whitebeard for last, but I wanted to save my boy, honestly. They put my boy Luffy, Captain Mugiwara himself, at small planet level. I'm hyped because I was saying this years ago, that around Wano times, Luffy was at moon level and able to contend physically with Dragon Ball Goku. Definitely Kid Goku, but debatably older Goku at the very end of the series, who was superior to moon level Master Roshi and planetary King Piccolo. More statements. But I sounded crazy to my peers, I'm trying to tell you, because they don't read the series. But Versus Battle Wiki does now. Now, I'll get to my small gripes with their opinion as I tell you Whitebeards. They have Whitebeard at moon level, which is cool if they mean when he was attacking Marineford. Now, I believe Whitebeard should be at planet level with Luffy, indeed at small planet level. Luffy at the end of the series should be at large planetary or higher via stats. Akainu may have more attack power via Devil Fruits, but we know from Roger and backed by Kaido that Haki runs the One Piece world. It seems clear to me that Whitebeard with his Devil Fruit as well as Haki is a solid planetary threat to any planet Earth-sized or smaller. Honestly, much higher, but gauging how much bigger planets Whitebeard is able to destroy starts to become guesstimation more than researched and educated hypothesis. There really isn't too much more to be said for this video because honestly, if we really look at it, Whitebeard was said to be able to destroy the world and not one person refuted it. The only people you hear refuting it are One Piece fans who didn't understand what's happening and One Piece haters who either skimmed or didn't read or watch the series. And then there are the ones who know that there is no debate against Whitebeard being planetary, but simply don't like the series and decide to lowball. I don't know, there's a lot of weird individuals out there. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content and follow me on all social media.
なんてデタラメなじじいだよ。